Brutes are shown in Halo as mean and tough savages. They lack much intelligence, they're generally uncivilized, and can be tough for even the Master Chief to take down. But today we're going to go into the scenario, what would happen if you were caught by a brute? If there is one thing we know, brutes have no respect for humans. Whereas Zinkili or other species may have some respect for humans, there is just lacking completely with these beasts. The games turn brutes down by several notches, despite them being pretty crazy in the games. But beyond the game's cutscenes, there lays a deeply graphic reality of the brutes' torturings, eatings, and even playing with their human food that is in the Halo lore. So guys, it's gonna be a pretty good one. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Come, human. It is easy. Take the icon in your hands and do as you are told.
Please use caution. This reclaimer is delicate.
One more word, Oracle, and I'll rip your eye from its socket. Which is nothing compared to what I'll do to you.
So most of this video is going to be based off a story in Halo Evolutions where somebody, in fact many humans, are caught and brutalized by the brutes. And one of the very first things that you're going to notice when you're caught by the brutes is that they lack a lot of structure. And even Connor, somebody that was caught, thought of their social structure was very similar to a cult in the 1970s in the US. Basically, the brutes lack many roles, whereas the strongest of the pack would lead, and anyone who challenged the pack leader would be severely beaten or just plain out die. Brutes are up to 9 feet tall, and they have terrifying faces, probably much more terrifying than anything we've seen with the game's graphics and Halo gameplay. And even when a couple brutes have no weapons on them, they can easily kill a platoon of armed Marines. They are powerful beasts. The pure rage of these beasts and the things that they are willing to do, such as destroy and kill and rip apart humans, have undoubtedly, such as with Connor, probably have caused severe PTSD with a lot of Marines when it comes to encountering these wild animals on the battlefield. So the story in Halo Evolutions really paints a really disturbing, bloody picture of what the brutes are willing to do. The story in Halo Evolutions explains of an invasion on a human colony world during the Human Covenant War. Some of the story is about Connor Breen, an Oni operative that witnessed the cruelty of the brutes as they occupied the very small colony of Beta Gabriel on what was recognized as an uninhabitable planet. But, well, it was very much habitable, and it was actually turned into a secret getaway for the rich. Now, Connor witnessed the following as he was tied up at the makeshift camp that was surrounding a Covenant cruiser. Thousands of human bones laid around the camp, still dripping with blood and muscle on the bones. But the brutes, when not governed, even went as far as to cook and eat the grunts in their divisions. The camp had mounds of excrement, and the only other humans alive were tied up and they were shredded up, scarred, covered in blood, and basically were there so the brutes could terrorize them just for the fun of it.
They could use the meat. Them? What about us? My belly aches, and his flesh is seared just the way I like it. Quiet! You two whimper like grunts fresh off the teat.
Making even the slightest eye contact with a brute would trigger an instinctual need to fight or compete, and those humans who had the goal in the past and even now to stare at a brute in the eyes would be basically beaten into a mush in just seconds, or perhaps grabbed in the center of a crowd of other brutes and then crushed into pulp or ripped and torn like paper. They'd actually go as far as to hang human remains from trees or leave them among forest pathways. It is disgusting. They not only hated humans, but they also loved the taste of flesh. Them and also frog-looking alien creatures that the brutes were known to bring with them. But regardless, brutes were natural human predators from the get-go, even before the war made them hate them so much. If they were on the same planet, brutes definitely would have been hunting humans for a very long time. So if you were caught by a brute, what would basically happen is, well, the most likely thing is that they would just well, tie you up and start cooking you, or they might just take a bite off your head. The thing is here is that the brutes are going to kill you in one way or another, whether that is from, I don't know, a heart attack from them scaring you so much just for the fun of it, or on the other side of things, they will just take a bite off your arm and watch you suffer and laugh. Basically, there is no empathy here. There is no understanding. They are completely deserving of the name brute. They are here to brutalize and kill as many humans as possible. And the war really instilled this hate into the brutes' hearts that really cut off any sort of understanding that the humans and the brutes could have otherwise. But nonetheless, they're probably going to eat you right away. Or there's also the possibility that they might put you into some sort of game. Now let's talk about the games here. So the brutes had the most vulgar, brutal treatment of any species alive, at least we know in Halo lore. And basically it was impossible to watch or understand with what they did with the humans. Many humans had tried running away, hiding, or even waiting out in trees. But brutes, even though they were fighting a war, they found some fun in this, especially when the humans were not armed. So, brutes themselves, they have excellent smells, probably better than a dog's, and are fantastic climbers. So in this situation in Halo Evolutions, this story, the brutes had captured hundreds of humans, and occasionally, the ones that were left alive after eating most of them, the brutes would release one or two, only to chase them down, track them down, hunt, and eat them. Which is, they're just doing it for fun, right? Just for the fun of it. Other brutes, for whatever reason, got a lot of pleasure from straight up torturing humans, making them suffer in unbearable ways, in such terrible ways that I don't even know if I should describe here. But one of them is that they would just tie humans up and then scream at them and threaten them and terrorize them into probably having basically a heart attack. There's also a chance that, well, assuming that they hadn't already eat you or, broken some of your bones, they would put you into games where they would pit you against another person. Now, the details are very spare on this because Connor didn't really see what was going on, but knowing brutes, it's very likely that the winner would only live as long as they could keep fighting and surviving. So basically, you're probably gonna die in this unless you somehow escape. So now let's talk about escaping, because that is what we want to do here, right? When we are caught by a brute, how the hell do we get away? Well, even if you were, not properly tied up, or even if you did have the opportunity to run away, that does certainly seem like the only option when you are captured by the brutes, is to not fight, but to run for your lives. But it was actually summed up best when said, look at those monsters, they cover more ground in one step than we do in 3. So basically brutes are about 9 feet tall, right? And so when you're running, they're going to be it's going to be very easy for them to catch up with you, right? So really, if they see you running away, they're going to catch you. They also have excellent smell and they can climb. So, running up in a tree or running up a cliffside, and running away, period, if you're, covered in blood, they're going to be able to hunt you down and sniff you. That's what they do for sport. Really, the only realistic way you can escape is using the brute's biggest weakness, which is the intelligence of these creatures and the strong bodies of each other against the brutes themselves. Why you run for the hills, and then that's actually what happened in Halo Evolutions. They got the brutes to essentially attack each other or get confused, or at least that was the plan. But if you tried to escape, what happened to someone is that they could easily slap your head off your body. Literally, this happens in the Halo lore, Halo Evolutions book. Literally, just like knocking a cup off your counter, that is how easy it is for a brute to slap the head off your body. So if you're running away, you better have like a day ahead of time when running away from the brutes. Just plain, just getting the hell out of Dodge, getting on a ship and escaping that way, or just, covering yourself in mud or something would seem like the only option, and having a really good head start of the brutes may be the only option of escaping. But really, when you're captured by brutes, even if higher up command says don't eat the humans, the brutes, they really don't care. It's actually pretty amazing how the Covenant are able to tame the brutes and how dysfunctional the brutes are, even when they have the Covenant kind of giving them a structure and technology that they are still really these savages that are basically just still trapped in this really low intelligence, brutalized, lacking of empathy, tribal state, and they're willing to kill anything as long as it has meat on it, and if they're hungry. So what do you guys think of the brutal reality of these creatures, of the brutes? Is this surprising or no? Why or why not? And should we go into more of the graphic details of the Halo lore? Let me know down in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts and I want to hear your opinions. And be sure to hit that subscribe button for more Halo news. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.